Broken boundaries? Here's how to fix them. Confronting invisible barriers. Begin with a powerful statement. Boundaries aren't always visible, they often live in our minds. Present a stark visual, a wheelchair in an empty room or a solitary figure against a blank wall, to set a tone of isolation. Use your voiceover to declare, "Today, we explore how broken boundaries can be rebuilt, starting from within." This opening immediately establishes the theme and draws in the viewer. From tragedy to transformation. Narrate Muniba Mazari's life-altering accident on February 27, 2008, when a car crash left her with multiple fractures and a paralyzed lower body. Emphasize the shattering diagnosis, that she would never walk, paint, or even have children again. Yet, during 2 years of bedridden recovery, she demanded paint and canvas, painting first as therapy, then as defiance. Frame this period as the moment she began reconstructing her internal boundary of despair. Lipstick and the public voice. Highlight her small but bold acts, first applying lipstick in a wheelchair, a declaration of self-worth, and later taking the TEDx stage to share her story with confidence. These gestures weren't just symbolic. They were strategic moves reclaiming her identity and refusing shame. Divorce and motherhood by choice. Detail how Muniba confronted inner demands, her fear of abandonment, and ended a marriage that no longer served her. Then, she addressed societal pressure around motherhood by adopting her son Yella, transforming that boundary into a choice rooted in love. These chapters in her life show how boundaries can be dismantled and reconstructed on one's own terms. Advocacy and identity beyond disability. Talk about how she stepped into public life as Pakistan's first wheelchair-bound model, a TV anchor, and UN Women's National Goodwill Ambassador. Art brand, Muniba's Canvas, invited others to let your walls wear colors, using creativity to reshape public narrative. This shift demonstrates how fixing one's personal boundaries can transform societal boundaries around ability and inclusion. Core themes and learning. Self-acceptance as foundation. Muniba's breakthrough began when she decided to live life for herself. Small acts can redefine identity. Lipstick, painting, each a boundary fix. Choosing relationships intentionally, ending a marriage and adopting empowered her emotionally. Using your story for impact. Public advocacy magnifies personal change into community influence. Your blueprint to fix boundaries. End by connecting her lessons to your audience. Suggest they write down one limiting belief or fear. Take a small first step, like Muniba did with that first painting stroke, and share a personal milestone publicly, whether online or with a friend. Assert, rebuilding boundaries isn't about erasing them, it's about redesigning them to support who you truly want to be. Invisible boundaries and stark reality. Begin with a powerful visual, dim lighting, perhaps just a solitary wheelchair or a cracked wall. In a firm, clear voice say, boundaries aren't always physical, they're often forged by fear, doubt, societal labels. Today, we break those invisible walls and reclaim our power. This sets a serious tone and centers the viewer on the concept of internal and external barriers. Shattered body, shattered world. Narrate Muniba Mazari's accident on February 27, 2008, when she was 21, traveling from Quetta to Rahim Yar Khan. Describe how the car crashed into a ditch after her husband fell asleep. She sustained severe injuries, fractures in her arm, radius/ulna, shattered ribs, collarbone, shoulder, crushed 3 vertebrae leading to paralysis from the waist down. They rushed her in the back of a jeep due to lack of ambulances and proper medical care. Add emotionally raw detail. In that rattling jeep I realized half my body was broken, half paralyzed. Diagnosis, you'll never. Detail the succession of crushing verdicts from her doctors. You may never paint again, due to wrist and arm damage. You'll never walk, due to severe spinal injury. You can't bear a child, due to fixation in her spine. Highlight her initial composure, followed by the emotional breaking point when told motherhood was impossible, and identity shattered. The turning point, sparks of rebellion and hope. Introduce her mother's pivotal words, "This too shall pass, God has a greater plan." These words kept her alive amid the wreck of her dreams. Reveal her silent promise, "If I'm alive, I will paint." Then describe the first act of defiance, asking for paint and canvas in the hospital. "I want to add color to these white walls." The deluxe rebirth. From bed to wheels. After 2 years bedridden, Muniba moved into a wheelchair, a metaphorical rebirth. Describe the iconic moment when she first applied lipstick, looked in the mirror, thought she looked like a clown, erased it, then redrew it, this time for herself. "I'm doing this for me," an act of radical self-acceptance. This is the moment her mindset shifted from survival to sovereignty. Reclaiming identity. Divorce and motherhood by choice. Explain how she ended an unhappy marriage, originally arranged, likening it to ending a second boundary. Emphasize she divorced by 2015, despite divorce being a cultural taboo. Then she adopted her son Yella, reclaiming motherhood on her terms despite doctors' earlier diagnosis. These choices reflect her intent in reconstructing her life, from personal To public, painting, modeling, advocate describe how Muniba turned painting into her brand, Muniba's Canvas, and exhibited art in Lahore and Dubai. Note she became Pakistan's first wheelchair-bound model, with Tony and Guy. Host on national TV, PTV, a TEDx speaker in August 2017, and later UN Women's Goodwill Ambassador, including addressing the 63rd Union Commission in March 2019. This is Boundary Breaking in Public Perception and Inclusion, Core Lessons, Rebuilding Boundaries with Purpose. Sum her journey into these key takeaways: name the boundary, speak your own truth, acknowledge the area, e.g., fear of failure, divorce taboo, defy quietly but intentionally, small actions, paint, lipstick, become powerful declarations, choose identity over expectation, prioritize self-definition, divorce. Adoption, independence, use your voice, speak truth to power, on TEDx, national TV, and international forums. Call to action, your path to freedom. End with direct challenge to your viewer, look within. What lie have you accepted as truth? What small act today would begin to dismantle it? Suggest simple first steps, write it down, speak it aloud, take one concrete action. Invite them to comment their step. Close firmly, break the boundary that holds you. Redefine who you are. You're the architect of your life. Stop being too friendly. Imagine always being the person who says yes, even when your energy is gone, your time is spent, and your emotional tank is empty. Muniba Mazari calls this out: being overly friendly isn't noble, it's self-erasure. She reminds us that toxic people are energy vampires, and they drain out the positive energy in us, and that such dynamics are contagious just like positivity. If a conversation leaves you feeling wiped out, that's a signal. Muniba lays out clear traits of toxic others: constant complaining, lack of gratitude, disrespect, envy masked as concern. They suck the light out of you. If someone hijacks your time, makes everything about them, or dismisses your needs, stop. Giving without limits. Turn down your impulse to fix, rescue, or smooth things over. Muniba's personal journey makes this palpable. After surviving paralysis in 2008, she learned to refuse pity, to stand up for herself, and not to collapse into pleasing. She says that applying lipstick from her wheelchair wasn't about vanity, but about reclaiming autonomy. She did it for herself, not for others, a small but powerful act of self-respect. Healing from toxic overfriendliness starts with awareness. Notice who leaves you emotionally empty. Take a moment after every interaction. Do you feel uplifted or depleted? If it's the latter, thank the person for the time, then step back. It's okay to say, I need space or I can't talk right now. Your mental bandwidth matters. Use Muniba's micro-act method. Set one tiny boundary today. Skip the extra work request. Decline a late-night call. Say no without apology. That act isn't selfish, it's necessary. You're teaching yourself and others where your boundaries lie. Muniba warns that empathy can be risky if it's exercised without limit. Caring is good, but not when it sacrifices your peace. If a relationship repeatedly drains you, enforce the boundary, reduce contact, set communication times, or remove them from your circle entirely. As you practice this, you'll notice a shift. Saying no won't feel guilty, it will feel empowering. Your kindness will return, not as an easy target, but as a conscious choice. You'll have energy to support those who truly deserve it, not those who take it. Muniba Mazari challenges us to rethink what it means to be genuinely kind. She cautions that if your generosity comes at the cost of your own energy, time, or dignity, it's not noble, it's self-destruction. In one noteworthy reflection, she says that toxicity is contagious, just like positivity. When you consistently give in to exhausting demands, you become a target for emotional drainers. When you walk away from a conversation feeling depleted rather than uplifted, that's a warning sign. Muniba outlines the telltale behaviors of draining individuals: endless complaining, ingratitude, disrespect, and envy disguised as concern. If a person continuously dominates your time, dismisses your emotions, or expects you to rescue them at your own expense, it's time to reevaluate your boundaries. Remember, you do not owe anyone your peace. Her own journey speaks volumes. After surviving a life-altering accident in 2008, Muniba could have easily given in to pity, both hers and others. Yet, she resisted the urge to please or shrink herself. Instead, she made small yet defiant statements of self-worth: first, painting from her bed. Then, applying lipstick publicly from her wheelchair, acts less about appearance and more about reclaiming control over her identity. Changing the habit of overfriendliness starts with introspection. Muniba encourages us to notice who leaves us emotionally lean. Do you feel elevated or exhausted after certain people enter your sphere? If it's the latter, take a step back. Politely express your need for space: I'm taking a break, or I can't continue this right now. This is not selfish, it's self-preservation. Her technique of micro-boundaries is both simple and revolutionary. Identify one small limit today, perhaps declining a task, ending a draining call, or declining to engage in certain conversations. Express it calmly and firmly, without apology. This act isn't selfish, it's a declaration, I matter too. Muniba reminds us that empathy shouldn't come at the expense of self-care. She teaches that caring for others mustn't obliterate your own well-being. If a relationship persistently saps your strength, reinforce your boundary, reduce interaction, set communication guidelines, or even detach altogether. Recognize your right to protect your psychological space. Practicing this shift can bring profound transformation. No longer will saying no feel like guilt, instead, it will mirror your values. Your kindness stays, but it becomes conscious and sustainable rather than reflexive. You'll find energy returning, energy that can now go toward people and goals that genuinely matter. Muniba's own transformation, rejecting unhealthy ties, speaking publicly on her terms, and adopting her child, was never about being defiant. It was about declaring ownership of her life. That sense of clarity led her from a hospital bed to global platforms, recognized as the Iron Lady of Pakistan. Now it's your turn. Identify one relationship or habit that drains you. Take one decisive step, enforce a boundary, say no, reclaim your time or energy. No lengthy explanations, your peace doesn't require justification. Share your action below and hold yourself accountable. This isn't about vindication, it's about wholeness. You can stop being overly accommodating and start living intentionally.